just because I had a black eye once and he cheated on me means I should leave him forever and break up a family?
Yes, when your partner beats you, cheat on you once, yes, that's exactly what you should do. Leave. Yes. She went ahead to compare the relationship with a mom that is abusive, that beats her as well. And when you want to do something, or probably you want to cut contact with your parent, people tell you, oh, but she's still your mom. So why don't people say, but it's still your man? Let me show you the clip, then we'll come back and talk about it.
I went through so much shit with my mom. My mother has done unspeakable things to me. You know what people say? Even online. That's your mom. That's your mom. Why don't people say that's your man? So it's okay.
Like, so because you're not blood, so because he's not your blood, you have to put up with it.
Even tied with a child.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? People,
like, your mom could do unspeakable things and you have to tolerate it or forgive it
people
or get over it
always
because
say
it's your mom.
she should still respect her mother. She should still respect her mother. And people are going to say, oh, because she gave birth to you. No, y'all say that about brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins. Y'all do that. Y'all say that. When it's family, it's okay.
It's not, though.
No, it's not.
It's
but
not
I'm saying
okay.
why should they have to stay around him after what he's done? But just because I had a black eye once and he cheated on me means I should leave him forever and break up a family?
But that to me should have, like...
Your mom abusing you or your father abusing you does not make it normal. Because they are your mom does not make it normal. And you cannot compare the relationship with your mom and the relationship with a man together. If your man beats you and cheats on you, you can leave because he is your man. No matter how many children you have with him, you can leave. Your mom can beat you even while you're small. You don't even know where to run to as a young child, as a 5, 6, 7 years old child. Where do you want to go to? You're still young. You're not an adult. You can make a decision. You found yourself in that home. They might not even be your biological mom. They might be just your parents and they're very abusive. If you find yourself in an African home, the way they correct children here in Africa is by beating you with cane, belts, beating you. You must cry. Okay, that is how they, correct you when you do something wrong. If you meet yourself in that kind of environment, there's nothing you can do. You just have to stay there because you're a child and because that is how you found yourself. You cannot now, as an adult, that you have an opportunity for you to leave and make decision and know that what you're into, the kind of relationship you're into is wrong for you, but you don't want to leave because it just happened once. If your man can beat you once, it will beat you all over again if you stay. I have your reaction on this video. Let me go ahead and read this clip for you all to watch to the end, then we'll come back and talk about it.
Just because I had a black eye once and he cheated on me means I should leave him forever and break up a family? But that's...
Yes, typically that means you should leave that person, but it's not you breaking up the family. Their actions and their behaviors are the ones that broke the family up. Yeah. Of course, if you knew her, I actually have narcissistic personality disorder. I'm not saying whoever Bad Baby or Danielle Bregoli is dealing with or her boyfriend or whatever is a narcissist, but that's toxic as hell, isn't it? That's manipulative. That's cool. It's just a lot. That's what trauma bonds look like right there. It seems like they try to make you feel like you're doing the bad thing by ending the relationship when their behaviors are the thing that actually ended the relationship. The black eye ended the relationship. The cheating ended the relationship. Just the lack of respect, the lack of reciprocity, are what broke the family up. Not you leaving the relationship. Sometimes broken families stay together. Not every broken household, every broken home, it has two separate parents or two separate households. Sometimes they're living in a household together, creating this toxic environment that their kids grow up in. Also, listen to this clip right here.
I am so happy that I didn't leave him because I would never find what I have with him in anybody else. And it's gotten so much better. It's like a whole different ball game. And it's like, I always think about it like, damn, if I would have left, I'd be missing out on this.
But then it's also like the opposite end of the things could be like, what happens if, like, it's not even about you leaving him? What if it's the other way around? Like,
So I'm not saying that that's a trauma bond, but that's what trauma bonds look like right there sometimes, right? Yes, things can get better for a little while, but if the person that is abusing you, male or female, does not go and get help, then history is destined to repeat itself. Abusive, manipulative people, narcissistic people don't just get better overnight. They just don't do that. Now I'll tell you this right here, y'all. Anybody can be on their best behavior for a little while. Sometimes when you're trauma bonded to narcissistic people or to toxic people, it's hard to imagine a world without that person. You convince yourself that nobody else out there in the world, out of the billions of people on this world, on this planet, nobody out of those billions of people can treat you better or do better by you, can do better than giving you a black eye, can do better than to putting you through this trauma and things like that. I think doesn't she have cancer? And to do better than to just embarrass you over and over again. This type of stuff happens. She's the one to put it out there. I don't think anybody else saw it. She's the one to put the abuse and the lying and the cheating out there for the public to see. This is not me trying to victim blame y'all, because that's not what I do on here. I just try to open people's eyes up to what toxic relationship dynamics look like. Her story right there, her sharing her story, her crying right there, could inspire other people to go back into toxicity. Well, I was thinking some people are out there looking for a sign to go back, to leave, or to stay, and they'll see their videos like, I was looking for a sign, and this sounds just like me. This sounds just like me. I can't imagine life without this person. And then you go back into that relationship and you lose your life, right? Go back into that relationship dynamic and you lose what semblance of peace and happiness that you do have. When you're trauma bonded to a narcissistic or toxic person, it makes it feel like you're losing a part of yourself when a relationship ends. It's very similar to Stockholm syndrome, when you fall in love with when the kidnappee falls in love with the kidnapper. Like, the kidnapper starts making sense. You're like, I know you abducted me out the side of the road, and I know you had me living in this closet for about a year, but I get it. I should not have been walking on the side of the road by myself. I should not. I get it. I get it. Thank you. And they fall in love with the kidnapper. Sometimes victims of abuse that are going through trauma, that have been raised in trauma, you hear her. You go listen to the full podcast, y'all. You hear her, she talks about the stuff that she went through with her mom and stuff like that. So it doesn't sound like she's had peace throughout the entirety of her life since she's been on Dr. Phil, before Dr. Phil. How about that? You catch me outside. How about that? She was trying to fight Dr. Phil. She was trying to square up with him. You see, when you grow up in non-peaceful households, in broken households, and you deal with broken people, you have broken people as parents, how it can reflect and kind of like reappear in your adult relationships with partners. I wish that girl the best, right? Because I know she got a lot of scrutiny on her. She got a lot of stuff going on, but she done said and done some crazy ass stuff in the public eye, right? And a lot of these relationship dynamics, they'll have you blaming yourself for the relationship ending. They'll have you blaming yourself for getting cheated on. You know what?
Exactly.
If I wasn't sick and I would have slept with you 14 times a week, then you might not have cheated on me. I'm sorry I only gave you the buns 13 times. That must be my fault, right? They'll have you convinced that the abuse is your fault. Like, I've never hit anybody but you. You made me hit you. You made me cold cock you. You made me push you out of a moving vehicle. You made me body slam you. You do that with your mouth. You got a mouth. How about that? You see what I'm saying? Again, y'all, this is not the victim blame. This is try to show other people. I'm using her story to try to show other people that if you've been abused and lied and cheated on, it does not mean you should go back into that relationship. I wish the best for her. Seriously, I wish the best for her. But don't let that inspire you to go back into toxicity because you see it. If you're looking for a sign, that ain't it. This is it, to not go back, right? If you're looking for a sign, like, Lord, please, you on your hands and knees begging the Lord to send you a sign, the Lord sent you this video to not go back. The Lord sent you this reaction to not go back into the toxicity, to not give your physically abusive ex another chance. Because the next time they get physically abusive, it might be the last time you're on this earth, if you catch my drift. Anyways, y'all, be safe. Hit that subscribe button and check out the full podcast. I'll try to link the full podcast. I think her name is Camilla. It's at Camilla. Peace.
They could never make me hate Camilla. If anything, she deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for the way that she just did this interview with Danielle, aka Bhad Bhabie. I was locked in. I was captivated that whole hour and 45 minutes. Despite it being a semi-therapy session for Miss Danielle here, Bhad Bhabie goes, so a black man puts his hands on me and cheats on me one time, I'm supposed to leave him? I've never left a man after he's cheated on me one time. And Camilla's like, you know, as long as you're happy, as long as I see you and you're smiling, you really don't have to explain what you do to everybody. But she also brought it in a public standpoint. Like, you do have to understand that you do make a post about your baby daddy doing this, that, or you guys fighting. Of course, we don't want to see him punch you in your shit. Like, people are going to tell you to leave. They're going to have an opinion. One says how, you know, very mature Danielle is. And I truly believe she's mature to a certain extent. She's mature because she's had a lot of traumatic experiences. She was kind of forced to grow up. She talked about being, you know, groomed by older men and compared that to Alabama and how she just like wanted to help her. She did speak on the Alabama situation. She did say this was the last time she was going to talk about her. They kept it very classy. They kept it very cute when it came down to Alabama. And she talked about, you know, her being 13 years old and being on Dr. Phil. And then she would randomly just mention, you know, these points in time where she was being bullied in school. And you can tell like there was a lot of trauma dumping. But at the same time, it kind of gave you an insight as to why and how she thinks. Like, there was this one scene where she was like, yeah, well, you know, your mother does something fucked up to you. People are quick to be like, okay, well, that's your mom. You need to respect and forgive your mom. She's like, okay, and I feel like that about my man. Like, that's my family. And I just feel like Camilla really brought out a side to Bhad Bhabie that we were kind of just wondering as to, like, we knew something along the lines could have happened to her in life as to why she would keep going back to her abuser. Like, Danielle literally fired everybody on her squad because she said that she's had them since she was young, but they really didn't have her best interest. She catches on quick. She's very witty. She's very aware of her surroundings. I feel like the more she ages, she's going to be so fucking on point right here.
I'm watching the Bhad Bhabie interview with Camilla, and oh Lord, Bhad Bhabie is just quite literally excusing all of the things that her baby daddy has done and is trying to like explain it away and trying to prove that they have like a great relationship now. And she literally said the statement of, just because he cheated on me once and I had a black eye once doesn't mean that like I should have to leave or like it's a bad relationship. And I'm sitting there like, thank God Camilla is giving her a lot of pushback on it. It's kind of awkward to watch and listen to because it's like in real time watching Camilla being like, you getting hit or you hitting him is not normal or okay. But at the same time, Camilla is still trying to make it like comfortable for Bhad Bhabie. So she's kind of letting it go. But like, it is incredibly sad to watch. And it's also sad because Bhad Bhabie's talking about how people are in her comments all the time, you know, talking about how she should leave, she has Stockholm syndrome, etc. And she just doesn't get it. She thinks that people are doing it out of like drama, or people are like not getting it, not getting their relationship. But she doesn't realize that people are saying that out of true concern. If a man can ever hit you once, he will hit you again. Period. A man who has the capability of laying his hands on a woman that's a dangerous man. And on top of that, he's capable of doing that to their daughter, and I don't think she has thought that one fully through. It's even sad too, because in the beginning of the interview, she talked about how when she was younger, she slept with older men and how she felt bad for Alabama because Alabama's young and doesn't realize how like detrimental that is and how creepy those men are. And I'm sitting there like, Danielle, that is going to be you in 5-10 years from now. You're going to be looking back on yourself and you're going to be like, wow, I was young. I was naive. It's to the point where I don't even know, like, it's hard to listen to this interview, to be completely honest. And I started going through the comments to like see if I was alone in this. And there's a lot of people that are like, I can't listen to this. Because not only is she trying to defend him for herself, but she's also, unfortunately, telling all of the young girls and women out there that follow her and look up to her that getting hit in the face once is okay. It is not.
Bhad Bhabie said, just because I had a black eye once and he cheated on me means I should leave him and break up a family? That's exactly when you should do that, ma'am. Like, I didn't even watch the whole podcast because I don't really want to hear what Bhad Bhabie has to say. But seeing his clips has me weak as hell because, girl, no. Then you're trying to make it up saying, you know, your mom has done so much foul shit to you, and people still say, you know, at the end of the day, that's your mother. So why don't people say that's your man? Because You pick your man. Like, that was your selection. Select another one. Your mom was not a choice. Your family was not a choice. But your man is, okay? Motherfucker give you a black eye, run. But apparently the relationship has gone so much better and she's glad she stayed. But that first line talking about just because he gave me a black eye and he cheated on me means I should leave him is crazy. When other time would you leave him? How many black eyes would you want before you leave him?
Exactly.
Well, I do gotta say, the interview with Bad Baby and Camilla really did kind of throw me off. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. Because part of me wants to feel bad and feel like, damn, she really just is like out here trying her best. Like, Bad Baby is really out here trying to find her way. She's trying to find her footing, like trying to do her best, you know, with the mom that she had, with the parents that she didn't have, with the way she grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, she really is trying her best. But then the other half of me feels like, girl, at some point you have to take accountability. Like, the way she was breaking down, I understand why she has the thought process that she has. And to some, it does make sense. Like, it really shows that there was a lack of proper teaching, I feel like. But it's just like, girl, at some point, like, the way that you're learning everything else, you have to learn that some of the that you putting up with, you should not be putting up with, and there's no excuses for it. Like, what really got me was when she said, oh, because somebody gives me a black eye and cheats on me a few times, I'm supposed to leave him. Baby, you were supposed to beat his ass black and blue and then leave him. Like, I understand, you know, the whole thing that she was saying about, like, well, how come your mom can treat you bad and do all these bad things? And rather than people say, leave, they say, well, that's your mom still. And she said, why do people not have the same outlook when it's your man? Like, said especially when you have kids and shit involved. Why do they be so quick to say, you know, but that's your mom, but they don't be so quick to say, but that's your man. And when you really sit back and think about it, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. That's real. See, how I feel about it is that it's not right when neither one of them do it. It's not right if it's a grandma, auntie, uncle, daddy, sister, brother, boyfriend, husband. It's not right for anybody to treat you or how she's been treated by them people. Therefore, you can't validate even the people that are saying, but it's your mom. That is wrong. We don't learn, as you know, as this generation has grown up, we don't fucking learn that shit. It don't matter who they is. If they doing you bad, they doing you bad. They gotta get going. But I will say what she's saying is real, because people will be so quick to tell you to forgive family over and over and over, but when it comes to your man, somebody that you've built just as much life with as you have your family, probably if not more, somebody that you've done had kids with, etc., they'd be so quick to just tell you to dismiss them like it. And I feel like I'm not here to judge. One day she will definitely realize her worth, and she will realize that it is people out here that will give her the same he gives her plus more without any drama, any abuse, anything negative. Again, this is just, you know, she's young, so she has to learn that on her own, and at least she knows, you know, he knows what's right and wrong. I think her problem is more so just learning when to let go. If you really sit and watch the interview, like, you can tell Bad Baby is not this ratchet ass stupid dumb girl that everybody thought she was. Like, starting off, she did have to really like find herself and, you know, calm down a little bit, but like when you really sit and listen to her, she be saying, I'm not gonna lie, like, some be ignorant, but you know that just comes with where she was raised, how she was raised or not raised. But you can tell that she is growing as a person. Like, she really is growing, and she's trying her best to, you know, come out of all the stigmas and all the, you know, assumptions that people gave her growing up because she was 15 crashing out on Dr. Phil. Y'all really have to stop looking at her with them eyes. That was long ago. She's a grown whole new woman now. I don't know, people are gonna say what they have to say, you know, regardless. You can sit here and break down to somebody forever and they still gonna have their opinion on people. But me personally, I just feel like I really think that later down the road, here soon, once she gets rid of all that talk, she really is going to be a whole new person. You can already see such a difference in her. And I just feel like prayers for, you know, any traumas and shit that she's still dealing with, because there's a lot of shit that she's done said and she's done exposed that definitely play a part and show why she might be so, you know, on, if that's what you want to call it, over her baby daddy. I'm so quick to get on here and bash somebody, but y'all don't be wanting to teach nobody, or at least help, offer some advice. Hey, I went through the same thing, maybe you should do this. Hey, I know somebody that done dealt with this. Let me tell you this. Like, y'all just be on here bash people.
So many people are giving Bad Baby hate because she recently had gone on a podcast and said just because her baby dad gave her a black eye and just because he cheated on her does not mean that she's going to leave him. And I actually think she deserves a lot of empathy right now. And this is why. Her first abusers were her parents. Her dad was not in her life. Her dad was absent. He failed her. Her mom also had abused her. She said that her mom has done unspeakable things to her. I know that she was molested as a child as well. So I know she had a very tough childhood, and her first abusers were her parents, were her primary caregivers. caregivers. And she was also continually abused at a time when her brain was still developing by other men and other people in her life. And there was actually a 2021 study completed by the CDC that found over 60% of women who experience intimate partner violence or domestic violence also experienced childhood abuse, or they witnessed domestic violence in their home growing up as well. And so a lot of people say, oh, she doesn't leave her abuser because she loves him so much. And I actually think it's a lot more complex than that. I think it's more biological and psychological than anything else. Because when a young child experiences childhood abuse or they witness childhood abuse, their brains do not have the capacity, their still developing brains do not have the capacity to say, okay, I am being abused because there's something wrong with my abuser. No, instead a child's brain says, I am being abused because there is something wrong with me. If the people who are supposed to keep me safe, healthy, and alive do not love me, then there is something wrong with me. That is how a child's brain works. They internalize their pain and they internalize these beliefs. A child's brain is literally wired to seek connection from their primary caregivers, from their parents. It is evolutionary survival and it is physiological development. It's very animalistic, instinctual, and primal. And in fact, from ages 0 to 7, theta brainwaves dominate in our brains. So this means that we are highly suggestible to new information. Children ages 0 to 7 absorb everything like a sponge without any critical thinking whatsoever. And this is also largely because children are right brain dominant, and the right brain deals with feelings, imagination. The left brain, which starts to kick in around age 7, deals with logic and lists. It's the more rational side of the brain. It's where critical thinking lies, and it also deals with linguistics. So basically, when any abuse occurs from ages 0 to 7, a child just accepts it as fact. They don't think critically about it because they aren't able to. They aren't biologically able to think critically about abuse at these ages. So if a person is abused from ages 0 to 7, they accept that. That becomes one of their core beliefs, one of their core identities. It gets imprinted on a child's subconscious mind, and 75 to 90% of our subconscious programming actually occurs during our early childhood. And when we reach adulthood, only 5 to 10% of our brain activity is conscious. This means 90 to 95% of our brain activity is unconscious. It comes from our subconscious mind and our subconscious programming. So when I look at Danielle, when I look at Bad Baby, I see a woman who not only believes that she's unworthy of love, I also see a woman who believes that she is worthy of abuse. How did that start? Her mom. And she's right. People on the internet and people in real life will say, but that's still your mom, but that's still your dad. You should love them. You should put up with them anyways. So her brain has been conditioned. Her mind has been conditioned to not only accept this kind of love, this kind of treatment from people around her, but it's so normal. It's been so normalized to her. And people who have experienced extremely traumatic childhood abuse, they don't always leave after the first red flag, because you can normalize anything in your head. You can look at a red flag that your partner does and you can say, oh, well, that's not that bad because you experienced worse in your childhood. Oh yeah, abuse is a very complex and nuanced conversation for sure. I don't think that Danielle or Bad Baby has ever had somebody around her who wasn't trying to exploit or abuse her, because I even remember shortly after she turned 18, she broke OnlyFans records because she had that many grown men waiting to sign up to see her OnlyFans shortly after she turned 18. She's always been around people. She's always had everyone in her life prey on her, try to use her, try to exploit her, try to manipulate her. No, I don't think those types of comments should be normalized at all. Obviously, she's not worthy of that type of love and that type of treatment, but I do think she is worthy of empathy.
I feel like the mistake that people actually make is by making excuse for an abuser, a cheater, or a terrible man in a relationship. You know that there are a lot of red flags in that relationship. You've seen that this person is treating you really wrongly, but you're just like, you know what, let me make an excuse for this person. Maybe it's not all that. Maybe the person is actually a good person, but is acting this way because of me. That's the mistake most people make. You guys remember this woman that was talking about her husband when she wanted to share an exciting news to her husband, an exciting thing about a movie to her husband, and he shut her up, right? She made an excuse for him and she was like, well, I think it's because he's in his healing period. That is why he acted that way. Most of the time when you're stuck in some kind of relationship, abusive relationship, in your mind you feel like you're you're okay, or probably is a normal thing. It's not normal. It's not normal. If you're being cheated on, if your man is beating you, you have to leave. Yes, you have to leave. That's the best thing for you to do, because if you don't leave, you end up thinking that you are at fault. And I always say that when a woman beats her, right, will not beat you in the very first date, second date. In fact, they might not even show you any traits. What they're going to do at first is to love bomb you and do the best. In fact, treat you very right by you. They treat you well. They act like a prince, right? In fact, the way they are going to treat you, you in your head, you feel like you found a perfect person. Then automatically they switch. So when they switch, they kind of put it in your head to make it look like you are the reason why I'm beating you. You are the reason why I acted this way. Because if you know me before, when I met you, you can tell that this is not who I am. You made me this way. You pissed me off to this way. So you now start blaming yourself and start feeling like you are the reason why your mind switch or change or start beating you or start cheating. Because your mom or your parents or your brother or your sister or your sibling abuse you or do something wrong to you and you're still in that family, doesn't make it right. Just as one of the creators said, you choose your man, you cannot choose your family. And that's one thing that we women can only do, is to choose the kind of man that we end up with. If you choose a man and you probably choose wrongly, or he's not a perfect person, or he's not a right person for you, leave. Leave. Because most of the time, once they've done it once, it is not going to be a routine. It's going to be a normal thing. And I feel like if you don't leave the very first time, that might be the reason why you left 10 years later, or 5 years later, or even 2 years later. So why don't you just leave the very first time it's happening and don't make excuse? Another thing that we women usually do is kind of make excuse and make it look like we are the reason, or we are the reason whereby these men are behaving a certain way. When it comes to cheating, a man will always blame his wife for cheating. If your man is cheating on you, if your man is cheating on you, will always want to look at you and blame you for cheating and tell you, oh, you didn't give me too much attention, or probably you're no longer looking as beautiful as you used to, or you're not giving me enough smacks, or you don't do this, you don't care about me. They always look for something and make it look like you are the reason whereby I am cheating. They don't always, want to own up to it. And because you're into that abusive relationship, you're into that toxic relationship, even yourself, you start believing it in your head that I think I am the reason why he's doing this. I think I'm the reason he's acting this way. I think I'm the reason why he actually abused me physically. Maybe if I don't piss him off, maybe if I do exactly what he wants, maybe he's not going to abuse me. Maybe he's not going to beat me. So you start blaming yourself and start thinking that you are the problem, whereas you're not the problem. You are not the problem. The person that is abusing you is the problem. The person that is abusing, the person that is cheating on you is the problem. You are not the problem. You cannot be the reason whereby somebody will beat you. Why will your man beat you? It's not a right thing for your man to beat you. It's not a right thing. And yes, she asked that, just because he beat me once or he cheated on me once, does that mean I have to leave the relationship? What about the children? Yes, that means you have to. That means you have to, because when they do it once, they continue doing it. And when they see that you accept it and they apologize, they will continue doing it. Go and look at women that married men, or even boyfriend, or they are boyfriends with a man that beats women. Once they've done it once and you let them in and you forgive, they will keep doing it on and on. It gives them opportunity to try harder. It gives them opportunity to even do worse. They keep opening different doors that you don't even expect to be open, because they are testing you. That very first beating, that very first black eye was to test you, was to test what they can do to you. And for you to accept it and think like, oh, it's just one time, or let me consider because I have kids with this man, or let me consider because I don't have money. Women actually consider so many things. I feel like I'm not supposed to leave because of one black eye. They do it again and again and again and again, till people start asking you, when did this all start? And you'll be like, it started from the very first time I moved into his house. You know, people start asking and you start telling them that started for a long time ago. So I feel like if it can happen once, it's going to happen again. That is why people advise you to leave. And there are also dangers of you staying with a cheater and staying with an abusive man. A man that can bleed to you and your eyes is black. You have a black eye, cannot alive you one day. I saw a video of a man beating his wife. You guys, there's this bat they used to play tennis, very strong wood. It was using it to hit her head. It was hitting her head. Children were there, they were screaming, they were crying. I think one of the kids was recording. It was hitting her head. He started, strangling her neck and all of that. When they want to beat you, when it's in them, or in fact, that is not even going to be the very first time it's going to beat her. That's not the very first time. That's something that has been happening. And what is in their head is to unalive you. It's for them to just unalive you. Because when you see a man beating his wife, you start saying, I'm going to unalive you. I'm going to unalive you. Then you will see, I'm going to unalive you. That is their aim. So if you already have a man that gives you black eye, he punch your eyes and your eyes are black, he doesn't like you. He wants to unalive you, and that is it. So you staying and saying that, oh, it's just one time, it's going to happen again. It might not happen the next week or the next day. It might happen 2 years time. It might happen 3 years time, but it's going to happen again. And what are you going to do if you get spot? What if he removes one of your eyes? What are you going to do? You guys, what's your take on this video? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, Sugar Mara Davids, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.